For the battered but proud people of the Empire State, from the financial and entertainment epicenter of New York City to the sleeping and empty small cities and towns of upstate, which once bustled with manufacturing, mining, and farming. We all know from inspiration, history, and nature, we deserve a return to the success and growth of generations past, a birthright being squandered by corruption in Albany, and the depredations of an insecure, scheming mountebank posing as governor, who loathes both us and himself. As liberty beckoned to enslaved peoples behind the Iron Curtain via American broadcasts after World War II, we now say, believe, rise, and join us. Welcome to Radio Free New York.
Hey guys, welcome to Radio Free New York. I'm your host, Andrew Hollister, and we've got Bob Savage back with us as well.
Ahoy, mateys.
Hey, your voice is sounding good, Bob.
Well, thanks so much. Yeah, it's a little raggedy here and there, but it's like 95% now.
There you go. Yeah, no, glad to have you back on the show. I know your voice has been giving you a little bit of an issue, so happy to have you back.
Thank you very much for the glad tidings.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are going to talk about property tax today, but before we do, I want to tell you guys about two events that are coming up. Three events coming up. Little promo here. So first one is the Ugly Disco. I want to make sure you guys are aware of it. I am going to be there. I hope you guys join me. That is March 28th at 7 p.m. I believe it goes through till midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. It is to benefit Golisano's Children's Hospital. Check it out, uglydisco.com. Plenty of details there. Would appreciate it if you guys join me there.
Too bad I threw away my platform shoes.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. So normally what I do, I go to like the thrift shop, like, Goodwill, Salvation Army, or anything else, and you can usually find some fun stuff for like a couple dollars and have a good time. So that's the first event. Next event is this Thursday night, 6:30 to 7 p.m. We are doing kind of like a signature party. So I've been harping on you guys the last week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, about making sure you sign a petition to get a candidate you want to see on the ballot. And a lot of people, if somebody doesn't knock on your door, you might never see one. You might not know how to do it. So this Thursday night, 6:30 to 7 p.m., join me at the Dutch Mill in Greece on the upstairs in the party room. We will have petitions there. You can sign for candidates to get on the ballot. You do have to be a registered libertarian in Monroe County to be able to sign the petitions. That's not me saying that. That's New York State saying that. So this is a political process that New York State Board of Elections put in place. If candidates want their name on the ballot, people registered to their party need to sign. Now, if you're a registered Democrat or Republican or Independent or Conservative or Green Party, first thing you should do is change your party to Libertarian. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I'd appreciate that. But your candidates probably also have petitions circulating around. So if there's somebody you really want to see on the ballot, I would highly recommend you reach out to their campaign and say, hey, where do I go to sign the petition so your name's on the ballot? So that is this Thursday, 6:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Dutch Mill in the upstairs party room. Come meet me there. Sean, who's on the show, sometimes will be there. Kevin, who's on the show Tuesdays and Fridays, will be there. We'll all be there. We'll be hanging out and helping people sign the appropriate petitions. The final thing I want to bring up is tomorrow night is the county legislative meeting for Monroe County. I'll be there speaking along with other people about the sanctuary status for Monroe County. So if you're a Second Amendment supporter, if you think this is important, please show up to the Monroe County building. It is 39 West Main Street, and I just got to look up the time. I believe it is 6 o'clock p.m. I'm pulling it up for you guys right now. Almost there. Yes, 6 p.m. So 6 p.m. at the Monroe County building. 4th floor. Be there if you want to show support for the Second Amendment in Monroe County. There we go. I think I made it through all of them.
There you go. So I went out for pancakes yesterday down to the Cartwrights down in Allegheny County, our usual spring sojourn. And coming out, who do we run into but Andrew Hollister waiting in line for his pancakes with his lovely wife, Yolana.
Yep, absolutely. So that's been an annual thing for me ever since I can remember.
Yeah.
My family and I, we go down, and yesterday was kind of a unique situation for us because it was just four of us. But I have a big family. I mean, my immediate family is seven, and then people have their girlfriends or wives or whatever. So there's been many a time that we show up with 10, 12, 16 people. And so it was really exciting how quickly we got a spot with a small group. It was awesome.
It's intimidating a lot. If you're a neophyte, you've been to Cartwrights, you pull up to the place, and typically, especially if it's a nice day like yesterday, there'll be this huge line that stretches out into the parking lot, and you think, we're going to be here all day, but the line really moves quickly.
Oh yeah. I mean, the line was out into the parking lot, and I don't know how long we were there, but it wasn't long, maybe like 15, 20 minutes tops. And I mean, we got in there real quick, and they're just making these pancakes so fast that when you sit down, they come over, they take your order, and it just seems like almost instantly your food is there and ready for you.
That's Rhonda. Yeah, as you walk in the place, Rhonda Amadon, who's a Cartwright, she's been flipping the pancakes there on that griddle for 37 years, ladies and gentlemen, and it's just this nonstop assembly line. They're buckwheat pancakes. They're very light, and you can eat a lot more of them than you think you can. And she's just like this machine. We like to sit at the counter because the old original Maple Tree Inn setup is when you walk in. There's they just used to just have I think it's 3 or 4 booths around the outside of the dining area, and then you had the seats at the counter where you actually sit there and you talk to Rhonda while she's flipping the pancakes, and she's very entertaining, and it's a great experience.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Wow. So that was small. They must have added onto that building like a ton, because I think they've got like 130 tables now or something like that.
Yeah, I believe that they can seat 280 at any given time now. And when I first started going there, you came in through what is now the gift shop, and there was a little kind of like a covered bridge that went over this ravine. And everybody would crowd into this covered bridge because usually the weather was terrible because it's, early spring. And because Cartwrights is only open a couple of months a year. They're only open from usually mid-February as soon as the sap starts to run from the maple trees until right around Easter time. Then they close up. So it's a limited time opportunity, and people come from everywhere. We had a little moment of drama yesterday. It was very entertaining. The folks who were waiting outside watched as a helicopter came in and landed across the road. And that, by the way, happens a lot, believe it or not, at Cartwrights, that the helicopters show up. This guy, I think the one pilot is from Leroy, just likes to fly down for his pancakes. And it's just fun to watch him trying to pick a place up there in the upper field where his outriggers on his helicopter don't sink into the mud. So he's kind of hovering around looking for a solid place to put the thing down.
Yeah. I was very young the first time I saw the helicopter show up at the Maple Tree, and I thought that was the coolest thing. And sure enough, every year, it always seems that somebody's there, with a helicopter, and it just kind of, I think, speaks to how cool the place is and how many people it attracts. Because you've got this long line. When you go through the parking lot, you see license plates from not just New York, but Pennsylvania, New Jersey. And it's
Canada.
For us, it's really just a cool family tradition.
It really is. It's a kind of a rite of spring. How many restaurants have you ever been to, folks, where helicopters come in to bring people in?
Yeah, I think that's the only one for me.
Yeah, it's as Andrew has alluded to, it's not an unusual thing at Cartwrights. I would say probably more times than not, we've gone there and there's a helicopter sitting in the field across the road.
Yeah, definitely. And kind of something you brought up too is that they're not normal pancakes.
No,
People
no.
are always shocked to hear when I go there because I do not like pancakes. I don't find them appealing. They're
Yeah,
kind of
thick
disgusting to
and
me.
thick and doughy and
Yeah, but I love their pancakes. The butt week pancakes. They're the only ones I'll eat.
no, there's nothing like them, and it's a great value. I mean, the only thing on the menu is pancakes and sausage, pancakes and eggs, pancakes and bacon, and the pancakes are all you can eat. It's always served family style, and it's so you always get this big stack of pancakes, and they just keep them coming as long as you want to eat them. I think I don't know, what is it, $7?
Yeah, it's pretty cheap. And you know what we tried yesterday was the maple milkshake, which was pretty good too. But that is the music. We are going to take our break, guys. When we come back, we're going to talk about countries that don't have property tax. Kind of an interesting thing I stumbled on this weekend. We'll talk about that when we come back on Radio Free New York.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at SimpleTech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, SimpleTech Innovation should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
College Assistance Plus has worked with thousands of families, saving them millions of dollars. It can be stressful choosing the right college, but we're here to help. CA Plus will guide you from college visits to college graduation and through every step in between. Each student and family situation is different, and we work to accommodate those specific needs. Call today for a free family meeting, 585-582-1846, or visit collegeassistanceplus.com for more information. College is expensive. College Assistance Plus can help.
A reminder from Abate Monroe County. American bikers aim toward education. Distracted driving is dangerous, so pull over and eat. Don't try to read your mail and newspaper, and stay off your cell phone. Make a mental note to be more alert, making it a habit to expect the unexpected. Remember to look twice. Save a life. Train yourself to watch for motorcycles which are harder to see. Join Abate, and your family will be protected with a free $4,000 accident policy. Ride safe. Ride free. Ride often. Abate. If you ride with us. Google Abate Monroe County.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
You're listening to Radio Free New York.
All right, welcome back to Radio Free New York. I'm your host, Andrew Hollister. And what would life look like for you, Bob, if you didn't have to pay property tax?
Well, you know, the cynic in me says life would make me suspicious because I would say, all right, no more property tax. Where are you going to get me elsewhere?
Yeah.
In what other way are you going to rape me?
Yeah. Well, I definitely think that's probably the default sentiment for most of us. And then there's another sect of people that I think probably think, oh no, we won't have roads, we won't have schools, we won't have like all of these other things And then there's probably the little sliver of us. They're like, no property tax would be awesome.
Yeah, oh,
Yay.
yeah.
Hopefully we could figure this out. But,
Really?
I think most of us are kind of cynical about it.
Yep.
So why do I bring this up? Well, I just happened to be scrolling through Facebook, and a Facebook ad popped up, and it was pretty interesting. It is this company who is selling 1 foot by 1 foot squares of land in Scotland. And you might be wondering, like, why would you want to own a foot by a square foot of land in Scotland? Well, what they're doing, this is kind of like a nifty thing here. They're selling 1 square foot lots of land and assigning people lordship titles with it. So you
so
could
you'd be like
Lord,
Idi Amin,
whatever.
the last king of Scotland, right? Perfect.
Yeah. So you could be Lord whatever, Lady whatever, and buy this this little square foot of land. So it's pretty interesting. I was like reading this, it caught my attention because the first thing I think is like, if you own land in another country, what do you pay property tax on that for, right? Like, are you going to get an annual bill to pay property tax for this little square foot of land you own in another country? And turns out this company, this apparently is a frequently asked question because it's like one of their number one answered questions. And apparently you don't pay property tax on it. So that got me thinking. They're like, yeah, there's no property tax in Scotland. Turns out that's kind of like half true. There's no property tax in Scotland on land under, it looks like 150,000 euros of value. So, your 1 foot by 1 foot square in Scotland, so that you could have a lordship is not property taxable. But that did get me kind of thinking about, are there other places that don't have property tax?
Some of this is eluding me a little bit because so you're buying a square foot of land because you're just buying something because there's no property taxes on it. I'll tell you what, folks. I'll sell you 1 square minute of airtime on WYSL. There's no property taxes on that either.
Yeah. No, you're right. No, so their draw is their marketing is that you can then change your name to Lord whatever.
Well, you can change it. You buy a square minute of time on WYSL, you can change your name to anything.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. It's totally like a novelty gift. It's kind of like a goofy thing. They appear to be really successful because I saw people there
like a pet
commenting.
rock or something.
Oh, say it again.
It's like a pet rock kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a pet rock. However, they have like a resort nearby or something, so you can come stay in a hotel and visit your plot of land, and they give you like a royal crest and all this stuff. It's totally like it's certainly marketed towards a certain set of people, and apparently they buy it and they're very happy with it. That's all I'll say about that. But yes, basically a pet rock.
I want to hire that sales guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they must be doing okay. I don't know. So it's got me thinking, like, okay, so no property tax. Are there countries or places that have no property tax? And, it seems that the further south you go in the United States, the less and less your property tax is. In New York, we are kind of punished with really absorbent property tax here, especially in New York State.
Some of the highest in the country.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We definitely hit the top 10 list on that. And that's just state property tax. Don't forget, like, the counties are able to like add in, and the towns are able to like add in their property tax on top of that. And then we have a school tax, which a lot of people don't realize is actually separate from your property tax, because depending on how you get your bill, it might not be broken down. But I did find there are some countries that don't have property tax. I will just share them with you. In Europe, you have Croatia, Liechtenstein, Malaysia, no, Malta.
Malta, okay.
Yep. Monaco. Then in the Caribbean, you have the Cayman Islands, Dominica, Turks in...
Caicos.
Caicos, yep, islands, there you go. Yep. Oceania, you have the Cook Islands and Fiji. Indian Ocean, you have Sri Lanka and something that I am not able to pronounce. Middle East, you have Bahrain, Israel. Bahrain? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yep. Bahrain, Israel, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and United Arab Emirates. So those are the ones. It looks like there's no North America or South American countries that don't have property tax.
Okay, we have June from Pittsford on the line. Hey, June. Oh, Jim. I thought I said June. Hey, Jim.
Hey, well, no, my voice is too deep for June, Bob. But how you guys doing?
We're doing okay. June is busting out all over here.
I went golfing yesterday.
Of course you did.
Yeah. I just got my reassessment where I live, and I'm up $50,000. Almost 51,000. They increased my assessed value.
Ain't it great?
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, and not only that, here in the great state of New York, not only are your property taxes going up $50,000, no more plastic bags for you. So it's just government at its best.
So, Bob, I saved a bunch of bags, so I'm going to stick it to the governor for a few months anyhow. But driving in between all these potholes out here is, I'm thinking, well, maybe they'll spend a little of my money that they're not going to raise my taxes, they told me.
Right.
With my increase, it says that doesn't necessarily mean your taxes are going to go up.
Yeah, no, that's actually true. And this is something that when I got my assessment, I didn't totally understand, and we did a show on this. This must have been months ago now, explaining how the tax burden on the county is split up among the property values. So your property tax could increase significantly, like you said, $50,000, and my assessment went up as well. And even though my assessment went up, I don't remember by how much it went up. My property tax actually lowered by like $27 or something like that. And the reason for that was everybody else's went up by, I guess, so much more than mine that once you divvy it all up, I actually had a smaller share than other people in my area because their property tax their assessments went up more than mine did.
What town was that?
That was in the city for me, so I'm in Charlotte.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yep. But yeah, so it is definitely an interesting situation, and there is that thought that like if they don't raise the taxes, maybe they'll raise the assessment, but that's kind of like it's calculated just a little bit differently than most people know. So it is very possible your assessment could go up significantly and your taxes could stay the same or even go down.
Well, I wouldn't count on that where I live, but going up is going to be the one thing that's going to be happening. So,
yeah,
I guarantee you that.
Yeah, no, that definitely happens to people. I'm sorry to hear that happened. It's kind of unfortunate. There's this image that floats around the internet, and it's got some squares, and it's like, the house how you see it, the house how your neighbors see it, the house how your family sees it, then the house how the tax assessor sees it, and how the bank sees it, and it's all varying levels of like anywhere from a shack to a huge mansion. And they're going now off of what has been the past couple of years. I sell real estate, so it's been a hot market. So now, because New York can't borrow a penny, they need more money, so they're going to come at the homeowners once again. Plus, we're going to lose the Star. I mean, they got the Stars not in the budget this year. Am I correct in saying that?
Last I checked, there's I think it's gone.
I won't, Bob. I won't get my $480 check or whatever they sent me. That's going to kill me.
Jim, I hate to tell you this, you're going to have to get that paper route back, I think. Wait a minute. Nobody subscribes to the paper anymore either. I guess that's not going to work.
My 90-year-old father canceled the paper like 5 years ago. I thought I was going to fall over when that happened.
All right, guys, you are listening to Radio Free New York. We are going to take our next break. We'll be back in a moment.
more than twice the power. More powerful FM 92.1, FM 95.5 West, and 1040 AM WYSL Avon Rochester.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center. The rest of today, we'll look at a mix of sun and clouds. Temperatures soaring in the mid to upper 60s for the high. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies. Rain does return to the forecast for Tuesday, likely throughout the day with temperatures in the lower 50s. Highs will fall by the time we get into the afternoon instead of rise. 40s for our Wednesday, slight chance of a flurry or two, but most of us will be looking at a mix of sun and clouds. This is Samantha LaRocca for WYSL.
Know why everybody's picking Patrick? It's the price. And it's easy. Patrick Buick GMC is the largest, most experienced Buick GMC dealer in Rochester. People have been picking Patrick for over 35 years because all our employees are highly trained professionals. People pick Patrick for our 3,000 five-star reviews with a 97% approval rating. And did you know Patrick has access to over 1,000 Buick and GMC trucks and SUVs? These days, everybody's picking Patrick for our special pricing for educators, GM employees, GM suppliers, military and first responders, even college grads. Plus, all our amazing offers at PatrickBuickGMC.com. Patrick, we are professional grade. Corner of Lehigh Station and West Henrietta Road. See why everybody's picking Patrick Buick GMC in Henrietta. Remember, it's easy to save more at your exclusive SUV and truck dealer.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovation should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
Hey, grab a pen. I'm going to give you a phone number I hope you never have to call. The number for attorney Christopher Johnson. Chris handles car and motorcycle accident cases and DWIs and serious personal injury cases. So if there's an accident or anything else, this is the number you want in your glove compartment. You ready? Here's the number, 585-415-3803. 415-3803. You'll want that handy because suddenly, at that time, you'll be getting lots of, quote, advice. With this number in hand, you know you'll have experience on your side and integrity and individual attention to your case. So forget the singing jingle phone numbers, the actors playing ex-clients, bragging about their $1 million settlements. Just remember the number for Christopher Johnson, attorney. We hope you never have to call. 585-415-3803. 415-3803. Stay safe, be healthy, drive sober. Christopher Johnson, attorney, personal injury, car or motorcycle accidents, DWI defense. Good to know.
Rochester families are singing the praises of Agape Black Belt Center and the positive impact it's having on their children, teens, and adults. Many parents today are finding help for their kids with discipline, respect, and manners. For over 35 years, Master Ra has made Agape the landmark martial arts center in Rochester for families. See Mrs. Joanna Ra at 3750 Monroe Avenue, Suite 1000, Pittsford, or at agapebbc.com. Agape Black Belt Center, where leaders are made.
Roberts Wesleyan College Red Hawk Lacrosse has 2 home matchups this week. On Friday, March 13th, the women's team takes on Lake Erie College at 3 p.m. On Saturday the 14th, the men take on Frostburg State University at noon. Be sure to catch this matchup right here live on WYSL Radio. To get all your Red Hawk information, visit robertsredhawks.com. Roberts Wesleyan, Rochester's only NCAA Division II athletic scholarship program. Make it yours.
Livingston County Pizza Company and Gluten-Free Bakery in Avon has it all. Specialty pizzas, hand-breaded mozzarella sticks, onion rings, skillet meals, even hamburgers and panini sandwiches, along with a full gluten-free menu. Take the family to Livingston County Pizza, where everyone can have their favorite.
Radio Free New York.
right, welcome back to Radio Free New York. I'm your host, Andrew Hollister. I actually just got a text message from one of my friends saying he drives down to Angelica for the last 35 years, and he never checked out the Pancake House. So,
What?
Yeah, he knows about it. He always kind of like looked at it as a tourist attraction. I just texted him and said, hey, you know what? We're going to have to go together.
Yeah, no, he needs to do that. It's come on now. It's mandatory here in Western New York.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. It's pretty good. So definitely recommend it.
Definitely no coronavirus scare there.
No.
So, I mean, yesterday, beautiful sunny day, and they were lining up for pancakes. And the other nice thing about that too, I mean, not to belabor this, but everybody has such a great time. You're waiting in line, and sometimes it's kind of a cool breeze. It's springtime, and it's still pretty chilly out, but everybody's in a great mood. They're all chatting. There's a lot of camaraderie, a lot of connections with people, swapping stories and laughing it up while they're in line. It's a nice thing.
Yeah. You never know who you're going to meet in line. That is, certainly, as you're sitting there, you do kind of like build up relationship with the people in front of you and behind you, and maybe you never see them again. Maybe you do, but it is a cool thing for sure. So today we're talking about property tax. I happened to just stumble across the idea that there are countries that don't have property tax. I know a lot of you are thinking and wondering right now, if they don't have property tax, do they have other fees or taxes in place that are just raised and increased in other places? And the answer I have for you is, I don't know. So I did start researching it. I did start looking into it. And as you might expect, just like here in the United States, a lot of these countries, their taxes and their tax codes are so complicated. You really got to be like a CPA to truly understand how the tax rates would affect you similarly in another country.
Well, I think that's a prerequisite of a really good confiscatory tax scheme, is you have to make it completely, opaque, confusing, and needlessly detailed, so that way you can pull the wool over people's eyes that much easier.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that is, one of the biggest complaints I have about, I have many complaints about our tax system, but probably the biggest one is it is just so confusing. It is so hard to navigate. The average person needs to use some specialized software to calculate out their taxes, whether that's online.
You have to do that. That's necessary here.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about here. Yeah. You got to have, TurboTax or HR Block or some big conglomerate to do your taxes, either online or in person, or you go to a local CPA like I do. Like, I love supporting my small businesses. So I go to a CPA, and my taxes are complicated. There's no way I could figure this out by myself without some sort of assistance. So, I always liken it to, if you went to a restaurant to get a meal and you had to then hire somebody to calculate your bill for you, and if you overpay, you might never find out about it. But man, if you underpay, you're going to be in trouble at some point in time.
Yeah,
So
don't suggest it. That's all we need. Have restaurants, you have to go to the restaurant with your CPA.
Yeah. This is just a bad situation. So I do want to explore this conversation a little bit, though, because I hear people say very often, like, hey, if we didn't have property taxes, we wouldn't have roads, we wouldn't have schools, we wouldn't have all these things. And so I want to kind of debunk a few of these. First being the roads piece, because that's the number one thing I hear, is that if we didn't have property tax, we wouldn't have roads. And I just want everybody to know, we have a gas tax.
Right.
And
property taxes don't go to roads.
Exactly. Yeah. Property tax does not go to roads. When you purchase gasoline at the gas station, you are paying for your roads there.
Yeah. What is it? Is it, I think the total tax burden in New York it's about 60 cents a gallon, I think.
Yeah, it could be. I forget because there's like a federal tax, there's a local tax, there's like all these little taxes like built into the cost of a gallon of gasoline.
Right.
I think you're probably right. Maybe 60, or for some reason the number 67 cents is ringing a bell to me, but that could be any tax in New York at this point. You just never know. But yeah, no, absolutely. And that's one of the reasons that gas prices fluctuate so much state by state. It's not the only reason. There's obviously delivery, like, proximity to the delivery and a whole bunch of other things. But yeah, so your roads are actually paid for by gasoline purchase, not by property tax. So that's kind of like debunk item number one. Wanna cover that. Another one I hear significantly less often, but people bring up usually when you debunk the road piece, they'll say, well, then we wouldn't have like sewers and running water, which you may or may not know this. You actually pay a sewage tax, at least in Monroe County you do. And it is actually calculated based on the number of gallons on your water bill that you're billed for. So I don't know how many people know that. I called up the county once asking about why I saw some weird charges, and they're like, oh, that's the sewage tax, and you use less gallons of water this year than you did the year before, so that's why you see that change.
So just looking it up here, by the way, in case you're keeping track of our home version of the game, 68 cents a gallon. This is as of January 2015, so this is probably maybe a little.
I bet.
Yeah, 70 cents in Pennsylvania. So, it's actually worse in other places. 71 cents in California.
Yeah. I think I remember that Pennsylvania was a little bit more than us, which was kind of surprising to me at the time. Yeah, I mean, we don't always win the gold medal, but
well, we're close though. Yeah,
but we get pretty close, and we win it way more often than we should on all the things that we really shouldn't. So another thing that is interesting, you'll actually see this in your property tax if you ask for a breakdown. There is, or at least in the city of Rochester, I guess I can't speak for areas outside the city of Rochester, there is a tax for snow plowing, and that does get bundled into your property tax. Mine was, I think, about $150 last year. I think it's based on the number of feet in front of your home. So kind of an interesting little tax there. But I think the important thing to get to is schools, right? Because I think that's one of the biggest things people worry about. Like, if you were to get rid of property tax, would there be no schools? And my answer to that is that's kind of like a 50-50 thing, because school taxes are separate. However, they usually bundle them in your property tax in that same bill, so it appears that they are the same thing. But your school tax is actually a separate line item compared to your property tax. So theoretically, you could get rid of property tax and still have school tax. And, if you're really worried about the funding for your public schools, you could kind of be put at ease about that. I think that a lot of people feel like the school tax is maybe higher than it should be, especially if you live in the city of Rochester and you see what's going on with the budget. There's some issues there at the very least. So we're going to take our last break of the hour. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about school tax, because there's a few things worth noting. So we'll be back in a moment on Radio Free New York.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at Simple Tech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
Aircraft Environmental Systems proudly supports Radio Free New York. Rochester-based leaders in climate simulation chambers for America's R&D laboratories. We're experts in troubleshooting, calibrations, custom designs, and consulting for more than 40 years. Industry pioneers, we created the first ever fleet of temperature, humidity, and altitude test chambers available to rent coast to coast. Trained and trusted by environmental chamber manufacturers, we are ACES. Find us at acesinc.com.
Human trafficking is when someone is being forced, tricked, or coerced to engage in a sex trade or forced labor. If you're a kid and forced to sell sex, drugs, or work against your will, that's trafficking. You're not a criminal, and there is help available. Call the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 888-373-7888 or text Be Free. Sponsored by the Livingston County Safe Harbors Human Trafficking Task Force.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
Radio Free New York.
All right, welcome back to Radio Free New York. I'm your host, Andrew Hollister. We're talking about property tax and just the fact that there are some countries that don't have it. Obviously, here in New York, it's a pretty hefty bill for some of us. And just kind of, what does your property tax cover? What does it not cover? We kind of debunked some of the usual that, you know, your property tax covers the roads and the schools. It doesn't. There's a gas tax. There is school tax, although sometimes a school tax is on your tax bill. So, you know, it just kind of depends on how your town, city, and county, divvy them up on your tax bill. But one of the things that I think is important to at least say is, what does your property tax actually cover? Because if you're talking about all the things it doesn't cover, we should hit at least a couple of things it does, and that is going to be things that run your county government. So that really is what your property tax covers. You have New York State sales tax that also contributes to your county budget. So you may or may not know this, but New York State sales tax is actually only 4%. And then the counties can add in, I think it's up to 4.5, maybe 4.75 sales tax. So your county's budget comes from your property tax, comes from some of the sales tax generated within the county. So that's everything from funding your county executive branch, your county exec, your county clerk's office, your county legislators, all of those salaries, grants that they create and give out. If you have a local community college, maybe some of the property tax money may go into funding that. They may go into other development projects. And also, kind of unfortunately, it can go to subsidies to, give other people tax breaks when you don't get tax breaks.
You mean redistribution is what you're talking about?
Yes, absolutely. Taking money from your pocket that you paid towards in your home and putting it in somebody else's pocket.
What a country.
Yeah. Yep. So not so great. That's I'll just kind of put that there. But I think one of the things that often comes up is school tax. It's usually listed maybe on the same bill you receive with property tax. And so a lot of people see their property tax being a part of the school tax. And I want to point out, and Bob, I don't know if this is the case where you live, but at least in the city of Rochester, I don't get to vote on my school budget, but some school districts, they do get to vote on the budget.
I live in Brighton, so yes.
Yeah, so you get a chance to vote on your budget. That's awesome. I think that more people should have the right to vote on their school budget, especially because we're paying school tax, and you should have a say in how your taxes may change year by year, because that could put you in a situation where you can't afford to live in your home anymore.
Well, that's kind of endemic to New York State, is it not?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. I wish that the voters in New York could also vote on the budget. So it goes through Albany, say the governor signs the budget, and then the governor signing the budget just puts it on the back of the ballot for the next election. I think that's how it should be. And then the New Yorkers could go out and vote yay or nay. We want this budget or we don't. And if not, they've got a week or so to fix it, and then you go through and vote on it again.
Well, not only do we not get to vote on the budget, the legislature in many cases doesn't get to vote on the budget because it gets all snuck into it's a political process, and it's just forced down their throats.
Yeah, especially with the way things are in New York right now, where we've got this hyper partisan body and we have single party rule, right? So it's Democrat control all the way straight through. The party bosses are really just making the decisions, and people are just, following suit and doing what they're told.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's supposed to be the legislature is supposed to be a deliberative body where they get together and they on behalf of the people representing the voters, the citizens, they discuss every issue that in terms of pending legislation or the state budget drama, which of course was a kind of a standing joke for about 20 years because it was never on time and it got used as a political football. But now it's baked into the process. It all happens behind closed doors. It's the leader of the assembly and the leader of the Senate and Cuomo and staff, and they just get together and they decide, and it's just a fait accompli. And the legislature, our new unicameral legislature, just rubber stamps the thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's a big problem, and we talk about this all the time. How single party rule is never a good idea. It doesn't matter what party you're in. That is a very big problem. This is a problem we're now living in New York State, and you see it with some ridiculous laws that are being passed. But what I do want to do is I got a couple of comments here on the live streams. I want to bring these in. So Garrett from YouTube comments in and says, he didn't even realize there were school districts where the residents couldn't vote on the budget. And yeah, that's true. I live in one of them. I have no say in my district's budget, and they've been way overspending their own budgets to begin with. And then we've got Emmy from Facebook. He says, Victor school budget voting is the 19th. They're attempting to budget above the cap. Got to get out the vote next Thursday if you're in the district. So those of you listening to the show who might be in the Victor school district, sounds like you guys have a vote coming up next Thursday, the 19th. And you definitely want to check out the budget. And if you don't agree with it, you want to get out there and vote accordingly.
Yeah, you got to be careful about these pitches, too, that you get from these school districts about how, if we do thus and so, the new swimming pool, the new roof, the science lab, whatever, it's only going to cost the equivalent of, like a nice cup of coffee every week, forever. Yeah. Every dollar that is taken from you that you have earned is a little piece of your freedom that you're losing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I remember, I don't remember where it was. It might have been Fairport or Victor or somewhere over kind of like east side or east of me anyways. They wanted to build a new library, and the selling point was something like, oh, it's only going to cost every family an additional 97 cents or something.
Right.
And, but what they were saying is 97 cents a year for however many years. Because it was a
Forever.
multi-million-dollar project. And also, like, government is never on budget or on time.
Right, and they'll come back to you in 2 years, and they'll have another, $1.56, per week budget idea that they want you to sign on to, and that's forever.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and you can't help but look at your property tax bill, and it's thousands of dollars. Some people it's north of $10,000+ a year. And I look at that as a monthly cost, and I go, okay, so say it is $10,000 a year. You're paying almost $1,000 a month as a subscription to local government. I mean, you would never pay that for Netflix, but that's what you're paying. And every year they come back and go, hey, what we should do is we should add more things here, and it's just a little teensy bit more. But someday you got to take a step back and go, wow, I just can't afford this.
And this is all happening at a time when the school population is dropping dramatically in upstate New York.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's something that, which I've brought up. I sit on a few boards, and this is something that's come up is population's down to the lowest it's been, I think, in over a decade. And they're asking for more and more money, whether it's for community colleges or local schools, and they're asking for literally millions on top of millions more in funding. And when you ask, okay, well, how does this equate to the enrollment numbers? And they go, oh, enrollment's down like 30-40%, and but they want to spend 60% more than they've ever spent before. It's just really concerning. That's definitely a concern.
When you walk into these schools, they are Taj Mahals. I mean, look, it's great that we've got good schools. That's fine, but you reach kind of a saturation point, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, some of the buildings look absolutely beautiful and gorgeous, and I look at that and go, wow, we spent, let's call it $90 million on this building, but the kids are graduating at a 44% graduation rate. I think we're putting the money in the wrong place.
Right, and it's just not. It's not always all about the physical plant, too.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and there are many arguments that students actually learn a lot better and more effectively outside of the classroom. I know there are a few schools that have kind of that outside of the box approach where they actually take the kids out of the classroom, take them to the Strong Museum, or they take them on a field trip and they learn biology, in a park with dirt and grass and plants and stuff. And that's like a much more effective way of learning. But it doesn't check the box for Common Core or some other government requirement. So
oh my gosh, he can't learn anything without a whiteboard, without a smart board.
Yeah, there you go. You need the smart board. Absolutely. All right, guys, you're listening to Radio Free New York. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow.